This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world. Swerve and Deliver. What are they called?
Swerve and a Glory Bastard. Swerve and Deliver? The fuck is wrong?
I kind of like that name.
No.
Anyways, it's the Potsy and Tino Show. That's right. Once again, it's Tino Gray and Rob Potsy Pochak. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And Tino, we already have some comments in there. Michael and Joe are already in the audience. What's going on, gentlemen? We have a lot to talk about. So
It still looks dark.
I can't help that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I could do this.
Probably next time, probably should have.
There we go. All right. I guess. All right. We look all right now. Anyways, so Tino, we well, I like my little armrest.
Yes, Rob?
It's my armrest, not your armrest. You're just over there. There, you're out of the picture. So anyway, Tino, lots happened in the world of pro wrestling, but we always start our show off with something else, something called "What's Up with You."
Trying to think about what we.
Well, I know most of it was just wrestling.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, we got like just over full. There was a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, there was a lot of wrestling.
So you didn't play this week?
No.
Okay.
So I didn't play this past week. This coming up weekend, I have two shows. I have a private pool party Friday night from 6 to 8, and then Saturday I'll be in Hickory. But other than that, not a whole lot. The heart monitor I was supposed to take off. It was supposed to last 2 weeks, but I got out the shower today and my adhesive finally just said fuck it. So I took it off, put it in the box, and sent it to the people it needs to go to. So I don't have to worry about wearing that anymore.
Well, you might.
No, he told me. He said if it falls off, it falls off. Where
No, I meant you might have to wear a heart monitor, like if they find that there's anything.
Yeah, I don't think
the matter.
Anything. I don't think they're gonna find anything. I'm not gonna claim that. I'm gonna be A-okay. And I just watched a whole lot of fucking wrestling.
A whole lot of fucking wrestling, and a whole lot of backstage garbage with wrestling. So I didn't do much either, man. Like I did karaoke last night, which was kind of fun because I did two songs I'd never done before. I did an Oasis song called "Don't Go Away," and then I did a Goo Goo Dolls song, "Slide." But then I didn't
Slide before.
If I had it, I had
artists. Do you remember you used to do Slide?
I remember doing Black Balloon. I don't remember doing Slide, but either way, like if I had done it, I hadn't done it in a long time.
Yeah,
and I hadn't done it sober ever. So, but I did that.
I did find something exciting. Well, not really exciting. I went out. Was it Thursday? Sorry, went out Thursday.
You're fine.
From work. Yeah, so Thursday was at work. Friday. One day I went to work last week. I think it was Thursday. And got in the truck.
Wish I only went to work one day last week.
Yeah. Well, I go 2 days.
I'm kidding.
I go 4 days a month. But last week was
you only go 4 days a month to work?
Yeah, every other Tuesday.
Oh, right, because you work from home. Yeah. Right, okay. So I was like, he just doesn't go to work anymore.
I physically go into the building
gotcha.
4 times a month.
Because I'm literally thinking he doesn't work. It's like, what kind of job did he get? I want 4 days a month. I want that job.
So I went in. I left. All right, see you guys later. See you later. Got the truck.
Really? Battery's dead.
Fuck. So I was like, all right. So one of my coworkers, she has those little bitty Hondas, right? And so she popped her hood because she was going to jump me. And on one of her cables, it was just like
with a bat
to
jump you.
No, the cable.
Had
all the corrosion and all. It was like thick. I'm like, I'm trying to.
So did you have to pour some Coca-Cola?
She did later. So I'm like, it wouldn't jump. I'm like, oh damn. So I called my father-in-law, and so he's like, he's only like 10 minutes away. So he came with the big diesel, and it jumped right away. I'm like, he said, I'm gonna follow you to the AutoZone. So I followed the AutoZone. I had him hook it up. I'm like, just check the battery. He said, yeah, it was.
So it was dead.
It was dead.
Wow.
And so had it $190 later.
Never cheap, man. It's never cheap.
So that was the excitement of that. Sorry, that's not sorry.
No, you're fine.
That was.
That's the excitement. Like when you get old, that's the excitement. It's.
I need a battery for my car.
It's man. I spent some money this week. Oh yeah, what you spend it on?
Battery.
Well, had to buy a battery for the car. It's not even anything fun.
No.
Like I was talking to you about wanting to make a fun purchase because I paid off my iPad, right? So I was like, oh, Tino, I got this idea. I want to buy a new TV, and Tino's like, bitch, you don't even need a new TV.
You got this one not too long.
This one's like 5 years old now.
Okay.
All right, it's at least 3 years old because I'm now at my 2-year anniversary of being in this house.
Okay.
So it's at least 3 years old.
I give you 30, but still.
But I could move this one up to the bedroom, because like the one that's up there is like 10 years old, 15 years old at this point, and it's not even hooked up. So I mean, and like I don't know what you're complaining about. I'd probably offer you the TV that's up there right now.
The one that's not plugged in.
Yeah.
Is it a smart TV?
Yeah. It's an LG. So, but anyway, what? It's a 3D TV. So 55. It's the same size as this. But it's a 3D TV, and your PS4 is 3D compatible.
Yeah, but I got the living room. Mine's a 65 or 70.
And that is where you have your game system. Well, yeah, but you're probably gonna want a PS5 this year.
Yeah, so does my son. I told him,
he gets the PS4.
I told him he didn't like that idea. He's still trying to get a PS5. I'm like, bitch, I got a job. I'm the one
that he goes to work 4 days a month.
And if anybody in this house gets a brand new PS4, it's going to be me. PS5, you got a PS4. He didn't like that.
Well, tell him get a job.
I think he's trying to ask my grandfather. I asked his grandfather.
Well, he does get one big gift from grandpa.
And I told him, not a PS5, sir.
Well,
I think I already nipped that.
Well, hold on. But if you get one, then it's okay if he gets one for Christmas, right?
Huh?
Wouldn't it be okay if he got one for Christmas if you also got one for Christmas?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I'm not saying he gets one before you.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you at least get one at the same time.
Yes.
Because your father-in-law is going to ask you what you want too. So
PS5.
Yeah, you got a TV 1 year. You got McCartney tickets like last year.
That wasn't for Christmas. That was just that's because he's a Beatles fan.
Oh, I thought that was a Christmas present or something though. You sure?
He might have bought it on Christmas, but it wasn't a Christmas present.
Oh,
because he's a Beatles fan.
Gotcha.
So he buys them and he just takes us with him.
It's so funny. It still works. You don't, Joe.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm trying to learn that, but I've never learned that. If something fancies me, I go out and I buy it. Like and right now I'm thinking, okay, let's make sure that the job's secure and everything else, and keep that going. But I did think that there might be one other thing that I would buy before I might buy a TV.
What was that?
Well, Apple's got its big event coming up.
What are you getting?
Well, they're going to announce new stuff.
Yes, but you don't like Apple. This is the only Apple thing you've got.
Which means if I were going to buy another Apple product,
you get a phone.
No, I'm going to buy another iPad.
Oh, that's your phone.
But
I should get the iPhone.
But I want the bigger one. The bigger one. This one's 11-inch. There's a 12.9, and it's got a better screen on it and everything else.
Which would make more sense because you use that for work. This is just fucking just because you want it. The iPad makes more sense.
I don't know, man. Like I'll tell you this: when I got this TV 3-4 years ago, at this point, I spent a lot more time at home.
Yeah.
So I wasn't spending other money because I was playing video games.
And it makes sense then.
Yeah. Well,
but now there's nothing wrong with that TV. And why?
Well, then I moved that TV upstairs and I can play video games up there too. I mean, right now I don't game at all almost. And I
do game because you Twitch. or whatever you stream.
Not a lot. Like I haven't Twitch streamed in like a month and a half.
You were playing every time I would come over. You're playing a different video. You've got one right here.
I finished that one twice. So now it's time to get something else. I got Horizon Zero Dawn over there, or Horizon Forbidden West over there.
I'm waiting for the AEW game to come out, and I'm waiting to see what the new WWE.
You know you're gonna buy the new WWE game because last year's WWE game was good.
I told you if the controls stay the same, yes.
Oh, they're not gonna change the controls. Like they finally found something that people went, hey, this is a good game. They'll make the exact same game for 5 years now. You know, like Madden. You know, you finally get one good Madden. And then you just come out with the same Madden every year. You know?
Yeah, so I'm wondering what AEW is going to do. That's be interesting.
See, he says I can say nothing though because I bought a 75-inch Samsung QLED. See, so he bought one even 20 inches bigger than what I would. Now I might consider getting the 65-inch and upgrading. Okay, because I mean like this room can hold a 65-inch. That base can hold a 65-inch. You know, so I mean, like it's almost okay to sit there and upgrade at this point, and then say, hey, I upgraded. But here's what's funny: the TV that I'm looking at is called the Hisense U8H, okay, and it just came out, and it's on sale already for the 55 inches on sale for $650.
You're telling me, yeah.
It's a QLED. It's got 4 HDMI ports on it. It's got a 2-year warranty out of the box. Like you don't have to buy like the Best Buy warranty or anything with it if you don't want to, because they offer a 2-year and like a 5-year now. But like it's got fully decompressed audio in Dolby Atmos. So remember how I let you put my headset on the one time and let you listen to like the raindrops and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how awesome that was?
Yeah.
So the TV has that built in. So like at some point I'd go, okay, I want to get a sound bar or something else to go with this so that way I get full. But the two ports on it that I hook the game systems up to, it's fully decompressed audio, like just by plugging in the HDMI cable. So it's not compressed at all. So it's almost like listening as if you're actually like at the concert kind of thing. Okay. So I was absolutely amazed by the specs on it. Like it blows my mind. And then it's a Google TV, so I mean, just like my current Sony is, it would have access to all my apps and everything else that I already have. The other cool thing is as soon as I sign into the TV, it signs everything else in. So I mean, like all that stuff sounds great, but I don't need a TV. But I might still get one. I might. So here's the reason why I would still stick with the 55 instead of a 65 though. The 55 is $650. The cheapest I could find the 65 was $950.
Okay.
So $300 more for 10 inches. Now I know women will say great, you know, but
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Hey, Katie. Katie's in the audience, saying hi and bye. Just so you know, doing the drink and draw tomorrow night at SideQuest. So that's something I'm starting on Wednesday nights.
What's that? Drink and draw. So what exactly is a drink? I've heard you talk about it before, but what exactly is it?
So for something like this, it basically just means that like if you don't have anything going on, you come out to there, you can grab a notepad and you can actually start drawing and you know.
Oh, so it's not you. It's just
no. I would be doing it too. Like
I'm saying, but it's not just you're drawing for other people. Other people will be drawing as well.
Yeah, I mean, people will be able to come up and look at what I'm drawing and everything else while I'm there doing it. But you know, I'll probably have my iPad and be drawing on my iPad. Everyone else will be drawing on notepads and paper. Or I'll sit there and say, hey, you know, like yeah, I'll doodle stuff, and people want to buy it from me or whatever, they can buy it from me while I'm out there. I don't care. You know, because I mean, I like drawing on an actual pad and paper, you know, pad and pen. It's just like, you know, it's so much easier to use the iPad to do it. So, when it comes to artwork and stuff like that, I did a couple more promo pieces for Immortal. I posted one of them on Twitter today and Instagram. So that's up there. It's the character Artie who you see up there on the wall.
Yep.
My oldest character I ever created. Did I ever tell you when I created him? 1986. I was 9 years old.
Oh, you were 9. I don't know why I thought you were.
I was 9 years old when I created that character.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and he looks like a character I created when I was 9 years old. He's got a big fucking nose, kind of looks like a yellow Ninja Turtle. You know, I mean, like it sounds like something that a person that was 9 years old came up with, right? of course the character's changed so much over the years. He went from being a, just someone who watched his planet explode to now all of a sudden he's a private investigator who also is the cleanup crew for Immortals and is also very good with computers.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Oh, Katie says she's in bed and she's got to work early in the morning.
Night, Katie.
So, well, I guess that's good because
we got a lot of wrestling.
We got a lot of wrestling to go through, and we're definitely going to make sure that the discussion is open up for everybody tonight because a lot of shit happened. She says in '86, wow, thanks,
what
Katie.
She say?
She said in '86 she wasn't even thought of.
Good night, Katie.
And then she said hi, Tino, and put little like heart happy faces.
I love you too, Katie, but if he's old, I'm older than him. So good night, Katie.
Yeah, Tino's like ancient.
Good night, Katie.
He's just he's just lucky that black don't crack and he actually shaved off his goatee because his mustache is still brown.
Don't be jealous.
I'm not jealous. Hey,
jealous.
I'll tell you right now, I get told all the time I do not look my age. I mean, sometimes they tell me I look 64, but like most times they tell me I look younger than I am. Like it always amazes me when people see me and they actually ask that question because like the joke is always black don't crack. Terrence doesn't look his age. You don't look your age.
How old is Terrence?
Terrence is 30 something. So but like Samuel L. Jackson does not look 71. Morgan Freeman does look like 87. He's one of the few. Somehow he cracked, and he cracked for the entire race.
Like I said, Lena Horne died in her 90s. She's like she was in her damn 40s.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, damn.
But like so I'm pretty lucky there. Like I get told all the time that I look like I'm mid 30s. So I'm like, cool.
Okay.
You don't believe it?
Don't believe what?
But that's what I get told.
Oh, you say so.
So we do have a funny story to tell. We do have a funny story to tell.
You gonna tell it now or later?
Oh, I'm gonna tell it right now because it's in the What's Up With You.
Oh God.
Because it doesn't really have to do with wrestling.
It kind of does.
It kind of does. So I mean, that's a good segue.
Well, let me tell the story, and then you can tell me because you tell the way you heard it. So I got here. My stomach was
all right. Hold on. This was Sunday, so this is yesterday. Tino comes over to watch NXT Worlds Collide,
and then we're gonna go watch AEW at the movie theater.
Right.
So I get here and I'm watching Worlds Collide, and like I don't know what I ate. I'm like my stomach. I'm like I had to go to the bathroom. So Rob's got this you can't see it. It's off the camera. He's got a little half bath downstairs, and so I'm like, dude, all right, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I open the door. I'm like, hey Rob, you got any spray? He goes, does it smell? I'm like, no. He goes, is it about to? I'm like, probably. So
he's being so subtle about it, but he's like, Rob, I gotta take shit.
I didn't actually say that. He asked, is it gonna stink like that? Probably. Then he knew what I meant. He was like, okay, just cut the fan on. I'm like, all right. Then he's trying to talk to me. I got the fan on. I can't hear.
No.
So I'm in the bathroom.
You said something while you were in there first, so I tried to reply to you. Like I don't know if you were just talking to yourself.
No, I found the man wipe, the dude wipes. I was like, oh, the dude wipes. So I'm sitting there like, okay, I had gas. I knew Rob was on the other side of that door. So I'm trying to be all discreet about it. So first of all,
and here, just so everybody can see.
Right here.
There's the bathroom. And I'm sitting in that chair right there.
So the first one came out, I was like, I'm like, oh, maybe I can let this next one out real slow like that. But all of a sudden, it escaped me. It's the so I'm in this bathroom. It echoed from it was in the bowl that echoed, but in that little room it echoed, right? I'm already in there started laughing. Because I know I'm like, well, fuck it, he heard it. I'm laughing. All of a sudden I hear, Jesus. That was it. We laughed for 10 minutes. I'm in there.
I wonder he didn't take a shit.
My eyes are watered. I'm like snotting because I'm laughing. He's not here. He goes, my side hurt. I'm in there laughing so hard I got dizzy. I was like, oh my God.
Now, in my defense, my side hurt, yes, because I was laughing. But, all day I was talking about how my lower back hurt. Because for whatever reason, every time I start like boxing up comics, my back hurts, and it's just the lowest part of my back, and but it'll hurt for like 4 days. Like it's still kind of twinges today, but man, that it was.
So what from where you were outside? That's what it sounded to me when I was in there.
It was
like here.
It was like the loudest cavernous fart I've ever heard in my entire.
And I was like sitting there, like, okay, that just happened. Then this one goes, Jesus, that was it. That's it.
I laughed so hard, like we were just sitting. I had to pause the pay-per-view. And you know, and we can't because it's on Peacock, so you can't pause it. So I'm sitting there like, shit, what do I do now? Well, I can't even shit because you're but like it was just like boom. like I can't even make the sound effect. Like it was just
it was deep.
It was cavernous.
It's because it was, like I said, it was in the toilet, but then that room was so closed, it just echoed. Oh, but it didn't stop there. So then we get in the movie theater, and I'm like, my stomach.
He's like, I gotta shit again.
Right?
And he didn't shit.
So I went and I found the one, right? And so now I'm in the bathroom, and it was me, Rob, and some other dude. So I was waiting for the other dude. So I'm like, I'm trying to let him up, and I'm first gonna throw it in, but it's one of those toilets you just hit it with. It's not one of those long ones. I'm like, fuck. So then Rob, he must have been drying his hands, and he had the dryer going. I'm like, oh, let me use that to cover it. This fucker stopped drying. I was like in the middle of it. He's like, be careful.
The other dude was still in there. The other dude was still in there. And I'm like, be careful, Tino, because I'm on the walkout. And the other dude, and you just hear Tino just like bust out laughing. Oh my God.
And we laughed so hard. We had such fun yesterday.
We were just sitting there saying, like while we're watching the AEW pay-per-view in the theater. Now, there's only like 6 people in the whole thing, like 6, 8 people, something like that. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like that, just, like making the sound effect, not even actually farting, but just to see if I can get Tino to start laughing again. It was so funny. Like, I don't know what it is, but like even at my age, like talking about farts and actually being like next to somebody like that you can laugh about a fart with. I don't know what it is.
My wife is the worst. I'm like, did you teach third grade? She goes, I know, it's just so funny. They fart in class. She laugh.
but you know, like so when I lived with my sister and brother-in-law, they would talk about how they never farted and everything. Right? We never fart. Well, there were years where Shane didn't fart.
He farted. He just went somewhere else to fart.
No, like
something's wrong with you if you don't fart.
Well, you're right, but and we don't know what it was, like why he didn't. You know, because like he drank a lot of beer back then, and beer makes me fart like constantly, and they would stink when you know. But a funny story about that when my family decided to take a trip down to Alabama because one of my cousins was getting married, right? And like just randomly, like we had a conversion van at that point, and you know we have a pretty big family. I mean, like I've 2 sisters, 1 brother, 2 brother-in-laws, and back to kids. Well, yeah, but even before the kids or whatever. So we're going down, we're driving down, and Shane had stopped smoking at this point, but he kept eating like certs. Yeah. Which have sorbitol or maltitol in them, which means basically if you eat too many of them, it gives you gas. I didn't know that. And it makes you want to shit.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, dude. So all those sugar-free candies, like if you eat too many of them, they just make you expel.
Oh, when I quit smoking, I chewed a lot of gum and ate a lot of peppermints.
But you were probably eating peppermints that weren't sugar-free.
Yeah.
So like whatever he was eating were always sugar free. So we're driving down to Alabama, and we got like 9 people in this conversion van, right? I don't like where this is going. Which means not everybody gets a seat.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going.
So Shane and I are laying on the floor of the conversion van, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, "The fuck is that?" and I'm laying on the floor. Shane's laying on the floor, and Shane's looking at me.
He's laughing his ass.
And he's like, because he let out the first part he let out in like 30 years, it seemed like. And dude,
oh God,
the conversion van smelled so bad, and everybody's like trying to blame everybody else, and I'm just pretending to be asleep, but I'm laughing. It's like, and of course, like we're blaming David, my brother. It's like, oh, David, Jesus, what the fuck? Like,
that's wrong.
we all had to get out of the car. We had to stop the car and like open it up. And Shane finally looks at me and goes, "It's the first fart I've done in like 30 years."
Probably smelled like it.
Oh, it did. It totally did. It was like the worst fart ever, bro. But when I lived with my sister and brother-in-law, Shane, so same guy, like they always said, "Oh, we don't like I don't know what it is about you, Rob, but you fart all the time." And it was always like, like, and I'd be sitting in that chair right there because that chair was actually at their house at that point, and I'd be all reclined up and and then all of a sudden my sister started doing it, and then Shane was like, well, I can't be left out.
Wow.
But yeah, man, like the house just became a big fart central, because when one person farts, everybody farts. Just how it is. Anyways, but yeah, Jesus.
That,
I was still laughing.
I don't know why it was so damn funny. It's the way you said it. You like, Jesus. Oh.
So Tino.
Oh, God, I don't remember it all.
Well, we're gonna skip Dynamite because there wasn't really any reason to talk about Dynamite if we're gonna talk about their pay-per-view. But you might have to pull up the
same thing for NXT. I mean, really not for NXT. Let's just go home.
Yeah, it was a go home show, so we don't need to talk about that. But we'll start with I mean, even SmackDown and Rampage, we don't really need to talk about. So how about we just talk about pay-per-views and Raw?
Thank God.
But you're gonna have to pull up some detail.
Okay.
So you gotta start with Clash at the Castle.
Okay.
Because that was the first one. So I want to say this when it comes to I don't know if you guys, Michael, I'm sure you probably watched all the wrestling this weekend. Joe, I don't know if you did, but I'm gonna say that there was overkill with wrestling this weekend. It was like WrestleMania all over again.
I love wrestling, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that was a little much. We watched the wrestling we watched this weekend is usually a week what we normally watch. I made a joke, and I don't know if you guys are on Facebook. I made a joke on Facebook that Potsy and Tino show are clocking in for an 8-hour shift, and we were. It was like we're going to work because it was 3 hours for Clash of the Champion. No,
Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle. No. Yesterday, so 3 hours World Collide, and then 5 hours of AEW. So it was 8 hours just on Sunday alone.
And there was only half an hour in between to get from one place to the other to actually go see it. But I did show you that new shortcut to get to South Point Mall. That was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Well, I did Waze, and the way you were going is the way Waze went.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you ended up not being able to keep up with me.
I got the damn truck.
Well, you did all right, and then all of a sudden it was like you couldn't get in on 40.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Clash at the Castle started with the women's 6-way match. The Damage Control versus Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa.
Bad Cat Moss and the Prophets.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Okay.
Yeah, nobody saw it apparently because Peacock had trouble, and that's why when I was telling you that it was saying that the pay-per-view couldn't play.
Montez Fort.
Anyways.
All right, yeah, so Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa gets Damage Control.
So, interestingly enough, I don't know if you knew this or not, but okay, the end of the match was Bayley ended up pinning Bianca Belair. It was the first time that Bianca Belair has been pinned since November of 2021. So, pretty big deal.
And it says it's setting up a title program, so it looks like Bayley's going to be chasing the title now.
Obviously.
Until Becky comes back.
Well, I mean, probably. Right. So, although, Becky doesn't even need to be in the title picture. Like, they can set her up.
Who would they put her against? You're right, but who's...
Whoever they want.
And it goes back to the mid card does, and we'll talk about it later. Does Seth and Matt Riddle is it make Matt upper main event, or does it bring Seth to mid card?
We can obviously talk about that a little bit when we get to that
Yeah.
match. So the match itself was a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
They seemed a little out of sorts. I think it's because these people don't typically tag with each other. Now, granted, Io Sky and Dakota Kai are going to be a tag team, it looks like, going forward.
I think Bailey, as much as I hate to say, I don't want to say it was ring rust. I don't think the timing was down on some of the things they were doing. Well, I don't want to say ring rust because Bailey's still good to go. But I think the timing between the 6 of them and a couple of spots were off.
You could be way on point there. They were actually in town since like Tuesday, so it's not like they had like jet lag or anything.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
it's just shit happens in live TV sometimes,
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like again, I just didn't think it was as smooth of a match as those women could be capable of having themselves. And like it's disappointing when you see Bianca or Bailey have that kind of performance. Actually it's disappointing when you see Asuka or Alexa have that kind of performance as well. Like the other two, you kind of, Io Sky has been around for a long time, but she's not been on this level of anything before. So, except maybe at the Tokyo Dome, but I don't think so. So I mean, like the match was fine. It was what it was.
Next one is my pick for match of the night. The banger.
Yeah, that's one way to call it. The Intercontinental title match between Sheamus and Gunther. And I even want to talk about how this match started, because this match was like when you saw them walk down to the ring. First of all, Imperium got back together,
was awesome.
Which was great.
And it looks like that Da Vinci, he is coming up to Thursday night, the internal roster, so they are bringing Imperium back.
Yes, so Imperium will now be together, and basically means that
they scrapped it. So they scrapped whatever he was doing in NXT. Then just
cool.
But just okay, fuck you.
Cool. Wipe your hands with it. Put them back where you should be.
All right.
Thank you, Triple H.
Fabian Aichner was
Fabian Aichner.
Yeah.
But now he's something Vinci.
No, well, on NXT he was Vinci. He went back to Fabian Aichner. When he was at Imperium, he's Fabian Aichner.
Well, no, he was Vinci on Clash of the Castle.
He was Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to probably. I don't know if they're putting him back to his.
I don't think so, because they haven't changed anybody's name back. They've just added first names back to them. Okay. But the match didn't even start, and you had Gunther and Sheamus staring at each other like Apollo Creed and Rocky.
They did that a couple of weeks ago. All the shit was going on around them. They're just standing there
and
waiting.
But dude,
when they touched,
they immediately could have went home right there if they wanted to. They could have had the bell ring, a brogue kick or just a big chop and a 1, 2, 3 if they wanted to, and the match still would have been like one of those things where you're like, holy shit, But
what was it? It was like 20 minutes.
It was like 20 minutes. Sheamus literally looked like roast beef by the time he was done.
He looked like roast beef the first 5 minutes.
He did. And so guys, if you didn't see this match,
I gotta go back and watch it. I know you went back and watch it.
I've watched it twice already. It is Sheamus's best match ever, if you ask me. Even
the matches with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and even the matches with even the backstage brawl with Big E. Okay. Like this match showed. I mean, and here's why. Okay, it had that WrestleMania feel. Like this match was like his match against Daniel Bryan again at WrestleMania was 17 seconds.
He's had. Well, that's right. He had that one,
but
that was another one, didn't he? The longer one.
I don't know. Maybe SummerSlam.
But I liked it because it was. And it was old school. I don't know how else to.
It was
old school. It wasn't
flip and fly.
It was old. If you NWA for some of the guys who were born in the South like me, NWA, the old WCW. You think of what's my band's name? Dusty and Dick Murdoch, Dirty Dick Murdoch. Wrestling like that, Arn Anderson, those Ole Anderson, those old school, just stiff ground and pound that's going to beat the fuck out of you. That's the kind of match this was.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like the APA versus like the Dudley Boys.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you though, like Sheamus let Gunther chop the fuck out of him.
But Gunther got his receipt.
But he was gonna get a receipt. And I'm gonna tell you, it's the first time I've ever seen Gunther run away from somebody. And he ran.
He ran.
But you know,
because
like
he escaped. I think he got one. The
got
longest one was 15 beats,
Eh.
but then one he didn't get to 10. No, he did. He got
to 12.
He got to 12. He did 15.
But the first one was only like 4.
Yeah, and Gunther's like, I'm out.
Okay, but then he snuck out of the ring and got pulled in again, and boom, boom, boom. But I mean, like,
they were beating the fuck out of each other.
Like, I joked on Facebook that Shinsuke Nakamura probably offered them the King of Strong Style title.
Yes,
because like the two of them, I mean, it literally was a boxing match. You know, they didn't punch each other in the face, but I mean, chops. I mean, Sheamus's back had blisters on it by the end of the match because he got a couple chops to the back of the neck.
Didn't he get suplexed on the stairs or something?
Well,
on the ramp or something.
I don't know, but he definitely got chopped to the back of the neck like 3 times, and it was enough to have his neck start welling up. But I mean, like, you know, and here's the thing: they were in Wales, which meant they were firmly behind Sheamus.
Yes.
And I mean, Sheamus got to play the role of babyface. Yeah, I guess it was not really, but yeah, he was. I mean, he was obviously cheered,
and he was playing to the crowd more.
And he definitely played to the crowd more than he had in the past. And when the match ended, they gave him a standing ovation. Gunther got the hell out of there, and Sheamus got a standing ovation. He looked at the crowd, he waved to them, he did the babyface stuff.
After this, I want to say one thing about the women's match that I forgot to say that fucking popped me.
Go ahead.
When they were singing the Bailey.
So okay, let's speak specifically on the crowd. The crowd at this event was what you would expect from the night after WrestleMania.
Yes, they were cheering all the bad guys.
Well, it wasn't just cheering all the bad guys; it was cheering all the ones that they wanted to cheer.
Yeah,
like they still cheered the good guys. They still cheered Riddle. They still cheered.
I mean, they sang Rollins' song on the way down. They kept singing it even after it was done. In the middle of the match, they started singing.
Same thing they did with Bailey.
Yeah,
although the Bailey thing was
so hilarious.
Bailey kept yelling, "Shut up! Stop singing!"
They get louder.
And Michael Cole was like, "I think Bailey said she wants you to keep singing."
That made me laugh.
Oh man, but I mean, like the Sheamus thing, you know, they're sitting there firmly behind him. Every time that there was a chop from Gunther, there was a boo. Every time there was a punch from Sheamus, there was a yay. The match, you know, like Sheamus brought out moves that he hadn't brought out in years, like the Celtic Cross.
Oh yeah,
the Razor's Edge, the white noise off the second rope.
Yep.
You know, like so. I mean, like he pandered to the crowd the way that you're supposed to if you're the babyface, and he earned all the flowers he got in that match.
He ate it up.
Oh, he did. But I mean, you know that we talked about this when I said that match is probably going to be the hardest hitting match you're going to see all year, and I think it was. But we talked about that last week. We talked about it the week before when everybody's like, how come Sammy didn't win that match while they're in Montreal? And it's because when you're going overseas to Sheamus's home, you got to give him a prime match, and Triple H is smart to that.
Yes.
You know, so obviously that worked out very well for WWE. Next matchup on the card was Shayna versus Liv Morgan. Tino, go ahead.
Because I didn't appreciate this match. On paper, Shayna should have whooped that ass. What?
Something just sounded like it was buzzing.
Probably my watch.
Oh, gotcha.
I got it on vibrate though, so.
Gotcha.
Because it goes off every hour. I guess it was a little more believable because she hit her with the cold breaker and then with her finishing move. But Shayna should have drug her this match. She should have drug her. put her, fucking broke her arm and taken the belt and been done with it. I don't know why, and I get that they're trying to push Liv. I don't know why. She's just not a believable champion. I guess I like Liv. I like Liv. She's not believable when you're putting her up against a Ronda Rousey or a Shayna Baszler.
And I think that's why they're putting her up against them, is to hopefully make you now believe that she can beat them. Because if you remember when Carmella won the women's championship, she was in a program with Charlotte. So they were trying to do the same thing with her.
But was that a time when she had Ellsworth?
When she won the second championship, it was with Ellsworth.
See, I believed in her because she's in a chicken shit heel and she had a heater. That made sense.
Right.
But to send this girl out there by herself without a heater or something to help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see Carmella because that makes sense to me. I can see that she's gonna use him to cheat to keep her belt. That makes sense to me. I was cool with that.
No, you
but Liv?
Very good argument. Very good argument. And I agree. Now, I'm not going to say that Liv couldn't be a believable champion.
No, I'm not saying that.
She's just not a believable champion against Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Ronda Rousey, Becky, or Charlotte.
Yes.
But
put her against a Sasha. Yeah, okay. Sasha.
Yeah,
a Carmella. Yeah.
Definitely a Carmella.
I would even say Alexa. I would say Alexa.
Shotzi should be able to beat her.
I would say Alexa. It'd be close.
Yeah. I think it's because Liv's actually probably got a little more size on Alexa.
But a Shayna Baszler.
I mean, I'd even say, okay, right now with what they're doing with Doudrop, Nikki ASH, I think that she'd be able to beat both of them. She'd be able to beat Shotzi. She'd be able to beat Aaliyah. She'd be able to beat Natalia.
What's her name? Sonya Deville. I'd give her Sonya Deville. Nah, because Sonya's a badass too.
Well, no. I'd still let her. I'd still say she'd beat Sonya just because Sonya doesn't have as much ring history.
Yeah.
Like even Mandy Rose, being the NXT champion, as long as she has been, and I would still say that Liv has a chance against her. And I say a chance because Mandy's actually really started performing pretty well. Mandy
has fucking stepped her fucking game up.
She really has.
She got to look at her. What was it, 2 years ago on SmackDown or even on Raw when she was just eye candy. You could tell that she's put in the work. She's in the gym. She's in the ring, and she's fucking believable now.
And the only thing I can think there with her specifically is that, and we'll obviously talk about her match at Worlds Collide, but I would say that she asked to go back to NXT to work out in the Performance Center.
You know what she reminds me of? Some modern day Trish Stratus. Remember, Trish was the same.
Yep.
She was eye candy. She wasn't that good, but she worked her ass off. And then she became a believable wrestler.
Yeah. Because Lita was the only Lita, Victoria, Jazz, or Jackie.
Sable never really made it. Sable was still.
Sable was the first one that went up against men because she obviously took out Mark Miro and everything else. But regardless,
China was the first one against men.
So I agree with you. With Liv should not be beating Shayna. But I think that this is going to lead to the Ronda and Shayna becoming what I like to call the Sisters of Destruction.
Either that or they'll have a rematch and Shayna and Ronda will battle for that belt.
Well, I mean, at some point that's going to
happen. Yeah,
that's the ideal thing. Yeah. But you almost want it to be after they have the tag team championships. Then after, they have the miscommunications and everything else that caused the dissension between the two. And then you have Shayna win the women's title instead of Ronda in like a 3-way dance or something. And that's really what causes the problems. And,
because I don't see they're trying to push Ronda too hard. So I see she probably need to be the heel in that program and somehow make a Shayna face. I think Shayna would be a good face.
So I am going to say this about what you just mentioned there. We didn't talk about SmackDown, but I will say that Adam Pearce is selling the Ronda Rousey storyline.
I forgot about that. Was the thing that
better than anything he has ever done before. I don't know if it's they gave him a live mic. I don't know if it's because if you notice when he sat there and said, "You're the biggest bitch on the planet," and he said, "I don't want to babysit," and she actually looked at him and mouthed the words "babysit." Yeah. And I was like, "Wow, Adam Pearce! What's it? Scrap Daddy's going off here?"
So I'm so excited to shoot or work. Or like a work?
Oh, it's all a work. That's all a work. She's knowing that to get over as a babyface, they've really got to make Adam Pearce
And I asked Justin, is that the new Stone Cold McMahon? And you said, yeah, probably.
Probably. But I agree with you on that match. I wasn't, and it was probably the sloppiest match of the night.
Sloppier than the first one.
Yeah, because I mean, like, at least in the first one, you had 4 solid hands, so you had a couple sloppy moves. But this was a sloppy match, and there was only one match that I think was sloppier all weekend long, and we'll talk about it when we talk about AEW. But it was the sloppiest match on AEW, which was the TBS title match. That match itself was just sloppy as shit.
Well, we'll get to that.
Right. So next up, Riddle and Seth Rollins. Oh.
Dominic Guerrero.
Dominic Mullet Stereo.
Oh, okay, Mullet Stereo.
Mullet Stereo, who became Dominic Guerrero. Like, there's actual talk that they may tap into that story.
What I don't know, because you notice, and then we'll get to when we get to Raw. But Rhea did say, "What Poppy wants, Poppy gets." Did you catch that line?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because she said, "I prove now that I am your Poppy." But okay, so I saw the best meme today.
Just real quick.
Well, hold on.
If that motherfucker comes up to Mamacita Latino.
God, I hope not. But
why? We cheat. We steal.
But the best meme I saw. Okay, so this match, the match against Judgment Day, okay match.
Okay.
Not their best, but not a bad match. Better than the match that came before it. Edge's entrance, I was kind of weirded out by. Like, not upset or anything like that, but like, he's wearing a fucking luchador mask.
Oh yeah, that was kind of creepy.
And it was a devil mask.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
So it goes with his character of coming up from hell and everything else. But oh, excuse me. Anyways, so
I'm gonna go back in the bathroom and say how's it going.
So anyway, the end of the match happens, and Mullet Stereo comes into the ring, and Edge goes to lift his arm up and be like, "Yeah, come on, it's all great, all whatever." Now, so they won the match. All throughout the match, Dominic is helping them win the match. This is my biggest problem with heel turns in pro wrestling, by the way, is you go the entire match hitting the other people, knocking them out, doing whatever, hitting them with steel chairs, doing it. And then all of a sudden at the end of it, you go, you know what? Nope, I'm joining those guys.
No, you didn't see what happened, though. It was subtle. Dominic got in the ring to celebrate. He went to Ray. Ray went to Edge first.
Well, I also think that probably what started it was when Rhea actually stopped Dominic, and Ray dove out of the ring and bumped into both of them.
Mm.
You know, like, I think that was that was the first. And you're right. Like obviously Ray went to celebrate with Edge, and then Edge actually, you know, put his hand on Dominic's shoulder, and he's like, "Yeah, kid, we did it," you know. And then he takes a kick to the nuts.
Kick them in the ding ding.
And he really the ding ding. You say fuck all the time on the show. You say ding ding.
No, Eddie Murphy wrong. That little kid at the beginning is like, "Climb up. Yes, I can make the thunder or make the stars come out." And then he kicked them in the ding ding.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, you're only using a 40-year-old reference. Thanks, Vince McMahon.
Hey,
but it is so funny. So he leaves by himself.
No, you forgot. He clotheslined the shit out of his daddy.
Well, and if you saw the video, like, there was a top and bottom portion of video that showed that the way that he knocked Ray out was the exact same way that Eddie Guerrero did back in 2005.
I didn't see that one yet.
Oh yeah,
shit.
But the best meme I saw about this heel turn was Edge sitting there saying, "Why, Dominic, why?" And the bottom picture is Edge with Vicky Guerrero, and it says, "Because you slept with my stepmom."
Oh shit. Oh shit!
He slept with my stepmom.
Oh shit! That's funny.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good because it was like, it was like the wedding pictures of Edge and Vicky.
They didn't have one with him apologizing to Edge at the top, and then the bottom you got Eddie going, Allah.
So all right, so not really anything else really to talk about that match, except the baby faces were cheered.
Yes,
The heels. Interestingly enough, Finn Balor, the shit boot out of him.
I was surprised at that.
That is a good heel, being able to get your hometown crowd to turn on you. So and he did pretty well at that. And Michael Cole actually made mention that Finn Balor seemed to be the leader of the Judgment Day during the match, which I was like.
And then Corey corrected him, no, there's no leader, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Seth and Matt Riddle. Of course, we get the video package that leads up to this match. And, of course, we get the part where it's like, hey, Riddle, you still there? We talking about something. Oh, you ain't got one. I'm like, oh shit, you ain't got one because your wife wasn't take your kids. They want to run a bitch like you. I'm like,
the fuck you say?
He went in.
He did. And the match.
The fuck was that wearing? Remember that outfit?
Yeah. Yeah. What did I say about it when we were watching it? Like, why does he look like a taco? Something like that. Something like that. No, we said, why is he wearing the Godfather's outfit?
No, you said, why does he look like a pimp? I said he borrowed it from the Godfather. You said it won't fit.
It won't fit. It'd be saggy in spots.
Anyway, in important spots.
Anyways, so hell of a match. We got to see the angry side of Matt Riddle. We got to see him be Matt Riddle.
You said, "What's up with Seth's pimp pants?"
What's up with Seth's pimp pants?
And I said he borrowed it from the Godfathers, and you said it looks like two Skittles fighting. I said a box of Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, because they were neon as fuck in that match, man. Like Seth and him were both like neon colored out. Of course, Matt Riddle wearing the 420 bro shirt on the way down. That's a complete change from a Vince McMahon moment.
Yeah.
The whole match just seemed great. Seth ended up hitting the bro Derek. I don't want to go too deep into the match, but like
this fucking
psychology wise and everything else, Seth kept getting into his head, and it would set him off. So Riddle would get super angry, almost get disqualified, and then when it finally came to the end of the match, it led to Riddle leaving his guard down and catching two stomps, including one off the second rope.
Fucking Crow Magnum, man.
And he ended up and did you see them talk about that? Like when they showed behind, backstage, and he's like, how do you think I feel? You see this thing on my head?
It's hilarious.
So banger of a match. Still didn't to me, like you were like so is that on par with Sheamus and Gunther? And I'm like, no, because you expect that from Seth and Matt Riddle. Like you didn't expect Sheamus to have that kind of match. Like you expect him to have a good match, and you expected a lot of a beatdown,
right? But
you didn't expect him to sit there and really step up to the occasion the way that he might have earlier in his career. I mean, the guy's been around 15 years, and this is his best match that I've ever seen him in.
The last match was a championship match. I'm getting another one ready.
So the last match was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. When Roman came down first.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, he didn't.
Did he?
No. The champions came down first or last in every occasion.
Drew's old music played. He came and then it hit his current music. But they showed a video package that showed his entire PWG career all the way up to him becoming Drew McIntyre. Yeah.
And then his regular music hit. He came out with the sword. He did all that. But if you notice, he dropped the kilt. He came down just ready for the fight.
Yeah.
He's wearing his boots. He's wearing his knee pads. He's wearing his trunks. That ready to go. Roman comes down alone. They actually said because of the beatdown that Drew gave all of the bloodline on SmackDown the night before, they weren't cleared to be on the plane. They weren't
Yeah.
cleared to make it to Cardiff. So Roman was going to do this one alone because it was, you know, even Paul Heyman is still out selling the injury from weeks ago.
He did the voiceover for the next paper.
Yeah, and then they show the Extreme Rules pay-per-view thing, and Michael Cole's got to go, well, he must have recorded that a couple weeks ago because we haven't seen the wise man in a couple weeks now.
But then you notice in the promo he still had the ponytail, so it was
well, it was like, yeah, it was the old Extreme Rules Paul Heyman, but
unless he put a clip on.
yeah, he has extensions. He has an extension of ponytail for his bald head. So the match, I absolutely loved the fact that Roman looked confused at the beginning. He's looking around like,
why are they booing me?
Why are they booing me? Like what is it? Was reminiscent of Shawn Michaels in Montreal.
Yes.
And he's being booed, and you're like, this is great. Like he looks confused. And then all of a sudden, they tie up, they wrestle a little bit. He sits there, he smacks Drew, boo. Drew smacks him back, yay, boo, yay, boo, yay. All of a sudden, Drew gets knocked down. Roman asks for a microphone, and he goes, Cardiff, acknowledge me. And they boo. And he's like, the fuck? And finally, the match takes off, and it's a banger. Like they have amazing chemistry in the ring together.
And you're gonna talk because I fell asleep on it and I woke up.
Oh,
and I missed the part you were talking about. I missed.
Which part? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the match is going on. The match is going. I mean, it's like a 25-minute match. Lots of near falls, lots of spots where you're like, holy shit, Drew could actually pull this off, and then all of a sudden, like both men are down in the middle of the ring, and Charles Robinson even takes a bump. So they're all knocked out. Charles Robinson's laying outside the ring. Little Nate's taking his ref bump. Like he's like, oh, that's what they've got me in this match for. So he takes the ref bump. They're both out. Here comes Theory, running down with a referee.
Yeah.
And he makes it all the way down. He gets in front of the timekeeper and he goes, I'm cashing it in. And the referee's like, okay, you're getting ready to. And Tyson Fury, former boxing world heavyweight champion.
Former, he's still.
Well, he retired.
Oh.
So technically he's former now. But he
I don't think he'd ever lost.
He was 32-0-1. But he retired as the champion. He gets up and he just punches the shit out of Austin Theory, and you just see Theory lay down, and he's got the case right on top of his face. He's just laying there with it, and Tyson Fury's just like,
yeah,
like I'm not letting anything get involved in this match or whatever. So then Drew gets up. Drew does the countdown. He hits the Claymore. The referee that came down with Austin Theory slides into the ring. 1, 2, pulled out of the ring, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? There's nobody here for Roman Reigns. The bloodline is not here, folks. Except there is a guy wearing a sweatshirt outside the ring, and he pulls the hoodie down.
Solo Sikoa. I don't want to keep that name now on SmackDown.
Well, I already told you he can't be an Uso until he's got like 4 DUIs.
Shut up.
Come on. No. At least 4.
No.
No? No. Anyways, so he ends up helping Roman win the match. Roman ends up putting his arm around him, and he goes, go walk up that ramp. And then Roman's sitting there holding his belts and everything else. And then Tyson Fury gets in the ring. He actually shakes Roman's hand, says, hey, great match. Then he goes over to Drew, and he's like, Drew, get up. And I thought he was going to knock him out.
I did too.
I thought he was going to knock him out. But he's like, get up. Give your people what they came to see. Let them see the man who actually just did not disappoint. Even in loss, you didn't disappoint, blah, blah, blah. And then Tyson Fury says, after every great match, I like to do this. And he's got the microphone and he starts singing American Pie. And I didn't know this because I'm not a boxing fan. Turns out, after every win, he would sing that song to the crowd. So that's why he did it.
And then Drew, like, hey, you got any Sweet Carolina in you? I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, so anyway.
Then they sang Oasis.
Then Drew sang Sally. Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis, which actually was a quite fitting song for that. Don't Look Back in Anger after losing the match. But then they send the crowd home and did it in high fashion. I mean, like, interestingly enough, I don't know if I was producing that show, if I would have shown that on the air, or if I would have let that be the thing that the crowd goes home with.
Because they might have done something after showing off too. You know?
No. That show, that there was nothing else you could do after that. Like, what are you gonna do? Bring Goldberg back at after those guys gave that match? So anyway, I'm gonna say this: the best WWE premium live event, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, in a while.
So you don't think the NXT one was up to par?
No, I do, but okay, NXT, when it was the black and gold, had things that were that good all the time. But I give it a solid A- for the entire show, and that's because I wasn't sold on the two women's matches.
Okay.
But the men in every match delivered, including Edge, Ray, and the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I give it an A. Yeah.
So I say a solid A-, and they haven't had an A- main tier show. I can't even think of the last time they did, man.
That one.
Maybe Survivor Series when they had NXT on it. Man, that was 2.5 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Worlds collide. Carmelo and Ricochet.
What a way to start the show.
That was a fucking banger match too, though.
But not perfect. Like you expect Ricochet walking into that and someone as talented as Carmelo Hayes to not skip a beat. And they gave some really good high flying moments and everything else, but there were still a couple spots where I thought that they could have cleaned it up a little bit more. But a hell of a match. I mean, it almost makes you want Ricochet to be back in NXT.
I think he might.
I don't.
Well, you're right, because they're pushing him on SmackDown.
Exactly. This was the coming out party for Carmelo Hayes to actually get a solid talent to
give him the rub, like I said.
Well, not just give him the rub. Obviously, he gets the rub because he won the match, but also he gets to display exactly how talented he is because he's going up against the main roster talent.
Yes.
And that's something that like, sure, people that wrestle Apollo Crews right now are kind of getting, but Apollo Crews was never really used to his potential there. Whereas Ricochet's now an Intercontinental champion. I think he might have been U.S. champion, and maybe even a tag team champion at one point. So I mean, like, he really shows exactly what you can do with that high-paced, high-flying action, and that's exactly what Carmelo brings to the table. And I don't think that they had anybody else up to the par of Carmelo to be able to have that match with, except maybe Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Heck of a match, though.
The unification of the tag titles. Pretty deadly. Creed and Gallus, Briggs and Jensen.
It was great seeing Braun Strowman show up and beat those 4 tag teams up.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, that was Monday against better tag teams.
Apparently Rob's going to be an asshole tonight. So, it was a good match.
I like that it was an elimination match.
That was good.
I always prefer elimination matches when you have at least 4 teams or 4 members involved in the match. So the fact that I like that, I like the fact that the first team out was actually the NXT UK champions, so that you knew you were going to have, at least half the tag team championship was going to be a new
Yeah.
And then the fact that it came down to the Creed brothers and
Pretty Deadly
was nice because it basically meant that Pretty Deadly gets the rub from the current NXT Tag Team Champions.
So what if they bring it? No, if I'm not to come up yet because they still got to.
No,
they got to deal with him.
I think right now they're gonna you're not gonna see as many moves up to the main roster until you start seeing. You may actually see them get highlighted on a SmackDown or a Raw, but I don't think that you'll see them be full-time members. Kind of like Nikki ASH and Doudrop going down to NXT. Which that was the next match, wasn't it?
No, the next match was Mandy, Miko, and Blair.
Oh, really?
The women's championship, and then after that was the women's tag team. Yeah, so the women's championship came before the tag team.
And you thought that
I thought Bianca.
Not Bianca.
Nah, sorry. Blair Davenport was going to win. I honestly thought she would. And I figured if Mandy lost, it would go to Blair Davenport because she's younger and could probably, you know what I mean? She could carry it better.
Yeah, Mako doesn't really seem to fit the mold of NXT. So, I mean, obviously tonight they had her in a match against Roxanne Perez. Which we won't get into, unfortunately, because we didn't watch it. But I mean, she's got to be 50.
Yeah, I think she's in the 40s or late 40s.
But I mean, she obviously can still go.
But like I was saying, I don't know if we were talking about on air or off air. Mandy, fucking
we were saying that.
Oh yeah, on there. Mandy was badass when she held her own.
Michael Turner said 4DY Uso. If there was a most improved WWE superstar, I would probably give it to Mandy Rose for the entire year. I mean, she's held that title pretty much since NXT 2.0 went in, which next week is the 1-year anniversary of 2.0, which is crazy to think about. But she's pretty much held that title since she walked in the door, and she's, I mean, her in-ring work is now probably on par with an Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot considering when Alexa went to the main roster, she really upped her game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Katana and Kaden against Nikki AHS and Doudrop. And
I like Kaden and Katana, formerly Casey Catanzaro for those that don't know. Obviously one of those situations where WWE made her take a new name because when she came in, she was Casey Catanzaro before, so they want to own the name and the rights. I think they're finally getting the push that they need, and I think that you're probably going to see them in a match against. I think you're going to see a women's tag team unification match between them and Rodriguez and Aaliyah. I do, and the reason why is because when they were doing the women's tag team tournament, remember Triple H didn't want those tag team titles. He put them on them and gave them to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez at the time because they won the women's tag team Dusty Classic, and then when they went up against Shayna and I think Natalya at that point, or Shayna and Nia Jax.
Oh yeah.
They got squashed, and they had Regal come out and say, "You guys won our tournament. You're going to be our tag team champions," and it was kind of like a consolation prize. So I think that with Triple H in charge now, I think that you actually see them unify them because Corey Graves during that tournament said, "And remember, guys, these titles can be defended on any of the 3 programs, so NXT included." So I don't think you need an NXT Women's Tag Team Champion because there's only like 3 tag teams now. So having the Women's Tag Team Champions from the main roster come down to NXT and possibly lose those belts allows whoever is that tag team champion from NXT some exposure on the other programs. So I think it's smarter to do that. The match itself, it was fine. We got Toxic Attraction to come down. They got knocked out by Casey Catanzaro by Casey Catanzaro. No, Nikki ASH.
Yeah.
And Doudrop ended up getting dropped and pinned, which I thought was hilarious because both of those other women are not big enough to lift Doudrop up together. So, well, no, she was on the second rope and they knocked her down.
They hit a 10 and 450 splash and reverse neckbreaker.
Yeah. So all right.
And then the title, Braun and Tyler.
Probably Braun Breaker's best outing. And it goes to show you exactly how good Tyler Bate is, because I'm not going to say he carried the match, and I would think in NXT the producers actually call the match. It's not called in the ring or anything, but Braun Breaker, I mean, we know he's going to be a star.
Yes,
we know he's going to be a star at the next level. We know, like I right now am calling, since he currently has the NXT Championship, if he holds on to it, I almost see them doing a nice little Survivor Series match between him and Roman Reigns. Because normally they do title against title, and there is no other title. So I kind of see them doing that, and I see like Roman going, "Let's go, kid, let's do this."
Yeah.
And then, like not taking him seriously, and then by the end of the match, he's sitting there like holding his jaw, like,
"Fuck me up."
Like, like Breaker still loses the match, but Roman has to give him his props by the time it's over.
I'm trying to get these things. Okay.
So what did you think of the match? You really haven't said anything.
I liked it. I was surprised. Like I said, I always thought that Tyler. I didn't know. I thought Tyler Bate was still with Mustache Mountain. I didn't realize he was the champion.
But he's two-time
champion. He showed me something. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a solid match. He gave it just as good as he got, but you never know what will come a Steiner.
Easily the best NXT show since 2.0 started.
Yeah.
And they've had some good ones recently. Like you're starting to see the talent really starting to put it together, and now it's taken a year to do it. But it really does harken back to the days of when NXT first started. And
I missed
and if you watch the Sami Zayn Stone Cold interview, he basically said that until Cesaro came down and Sami and Cesaro and Neville and Cesaro were having their matches, that before that they were constantly told, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then when Cesaro came out and Cesaro said, just let's go out there and do it, and then they did it.
For forgiveness later.
When they went backstage, like Sammy was waiting to be yelled at, and they were like, hell of a match, kid.
Yeah,
hell of a match. And at that moment was like, that was almost like the switch to when it became the black and gold.
Yeah.
Because obviously Kevin Owens came in shortly after that. Then you had Adam Cole come in shortly after that, and it just became the black and gold at that point.
It's gonna be out of order. I'm trying to find one I had was in order, but it's.
I mean, it was a 5-hour fucking pay-per-view, man. We're not going to get any of this in order.
All right, so it doesn't even have the
Eddie Kingston versus Ishii.
Yeah, it doesn't have that on here.
Well, that wasn't on the main card, so it's not going to be on there.
Good match.
It was a slap fest. It tried to be Gunther versus Sheamus, and it was a 60-year-old man and Eddie Kingston.
Then you had Kip Sabian and
Neville
or Pac, whatever.
Yeah, the Bastard Pac.
And then Pac kept his title.
Yep.
I'm surprised that they let Kingston go over, but we forgot to say that.
Oh, can I say one more thing about WWE before we really get into this? So, since Triple H has taken over, it's now been a month. There have been no title changes.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Now, there has been crowning of champions, and obviously they've had unifications of championships.
Oh, they did have that.
So I guess technically the NXT tag team titles changed hands, but no other title has changed hands since he took over. And
besides what happened last night, the UK Because they did change.
Well, like I said, that was unification.
Okay.
That wasn't like the main champion of NXT and the main women's champion of NXT are still the champions.
Gotcha.
The only one that changed hands was the tag team championships in NXT. Every other championship in WWE so far has stayed on exactly who it was, except for the women's tag belts, which got recreated. Yeah. But all the other titles have stayed exactly where they are. And what it does is it adds prestige to them. And obviously who those belts are on is adding prestige to them. Bobby Lashley being a fighting champion every week has been excellent. Gunther, obviously, like if you're going to go into a match with Gunther, you're going to get the shit chopped out of you. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like we were already talking about the fact that it could be Roman Reigns versus Gunther at some point, and Roman Reigns is going to be the babyface in that match. Yeah. So I mean, like there's a lot going on there that just it's really interesting, because you would have almost thought that at this point at least one of those belts would have changed hands, especially after two major pay-per-views. Now we can go into so Ishii versus Eddie Kingston. There was one point where Eddie Kingston, I think, legit got knocked out by a chop. Yeah. There was another point where I think Ishii got knocked out by a chop. And my favorite part of the entire match was the very end when Eddie went to go help him out, and he pushed him away. He's like, "Fuck you!"
Fuck you. Don't touch me.
And at that point, Eddie's like, "Well, fine then," and walks off.
So
ladder match started the card.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's right then. Okay.
So you and I, for about 20 minutes during this match, are sitting there going, nothing is going to be able to do what this match did in this card. I mean, Andrade getting dropped on his head on a ladder that was propped up.
Oh my God. We thought somebody was going to be paralyzed by the end of that.
I thought Wheeler Yuta was paralyzed. Like at that one point when his neck was wretched on the ropes and the rest of his body was laying flat, I thought he had a broken neck. So anyway, like it was high spot after high spot after high spot after high spot after high spot.
You knew it would be, especially with the people who were in the match.
Yeah, we did. The only thing that was missing was Shelton Benjamin.
Kofi Kingston. No, he's Royal Rumble.
Anyways, but then a bunch of masked men come down, and Malcolm Bivens, Stokely Hathaway, steals the poker chip, which means that he has a championship match when he at some point. And then he gives it to a guy wearing a white mask, a white devil mask.
The way he was walking, and
moving, white devil mask. Yeah.
The way he was walking and moving, I'm like, and I said who it was, so I thought it was, and I was right.
There was only one other person it could have been, and it wouldn't have gotten the same reaction, and that would have been Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona would have gone over big there. Because seeing Matt Cardona versus CM Punk for the world title or against Jon Moxley for the world title would have been a good match, especially now with what Cardona's been doing on the indie scene. Yeah. But
we'll come back because he took the chip. He was going to unmask, and he said, and he walked away.
And then he went. Now the song that they played there was.
Let me introduce myself. The
Rolling Stones song. Pleased to meet you. Yeah. Hope you catch my name. And like that song specifically, if you actually listen to the lyrics,
Symphony for the Devil.
Yes, the lyrics specifically kind of led you to know exactly who it was. But anyway, so the next matchup,
Elite and versus Hangman and Dark Order.
That was the next match.
Yep, according to this thing.
So
it might not be in order. But I think it was.
It might have been.
Yeah,
it might have been.
You know how long we were?
That match was like 40 minutes long. I started telling Tino how bored I was with the match. It was a good match, but I have, and I even posted this in the. I think I might have posted it in the Facebook group today. I have a really, really big problem with Young Bucks matches. And it's not that they're flippy flop, high flyers, and all that bullshit. It's that they always, always, always book themselves stronger than their opponents.
And I said, but I looked at you and I'm like, so it was the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I said, so pretty much the EVPs penciled themselves in to be the first ever trios champion.
Well, and obviously Tony Khan makes the decisions. But see,
that's like the Click and Vince McMahon. Come on.
But it even goes back to when Fenix and what's his face Penta won the tag team titles from them, and every time there was a big spot, it was always those two taking the fall on it. Like the shoe with the thumbtacks on it, they're the ones that took the beating. The thumbtacks on the mat, they're the ones that went into the thumbtacks. They won the match, but they were the ones that took the beating. And in this, it was the same thing. It was every time there was a high spot or anything else. Now, granted, they did a lot for the Dark Order here, okay? Like Johnny Hungy is so much better than what his size and stature allows him to be. Alex Reynolds, they were cheering for Alex Reynolds in Chicago. Obviously Hangman is over and you know is at least $100,000. Not $1 million, but $100,000. But they always book the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega stronger than everybody else. I mean, Kenny Omega's One-Winged Angel is what, the only move that's never been kicked out of in AEW?
I think that did get kicked out of.
Did Moxley kick out of it?
I think so. It was either Moxley. I think the Heyman kicked out once.
Who?
When the Heyman won the title, he kicked out of it.
I didn't think that he ever actually got it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so okay, so still probably the least
kicked
out of move, except maybe the go to sleep at this point. Although obviously Moxley kicked out of one in like the first 4 minutes of his match. The all things considered, though, I would have loved to have seen the Dark Order finally win titles. Yeah, or the other option that I really wanted to see was Hangman actually turn on the Dark Order at this point. But he's a white meat baby face, so that's not happening. However, he's the one that caused them to lose the match with his buckshot lariat on Johnny Hungy, but also because he was apprehensive about wanting to fight and take low roads against his former pals. So obviously Kenny and the Bucks get crowned. When this match ended, Kenny made the cameraman stop back. He told him, "Stop backing the fuck up. I've got something to say." And he said, "All you boys in the back, try to beat that."
Yeah, and you didn't hear it. You said, "What did he say?" And I repeated it. You like, oh.
And I saw it today, and it was like, huh, okay. So then they walked back through. They went to the backstage area. Next matchup.
The one you want to talk about instead of sloppy.
Oh, the TBS title.
Mm-hmm.
So Jade Cargill versus Athena, formerly known as Ember Moon. Was very sloppy. It was very sloppy. Like, Athena is a much better performer than that, and yet she couldn't keep her footing.
Sure.
And Jade looked like somebody who should not be 37-0.
But she is.
And she looked like She-Hulk, which of course Excalibur sits there and goes, "She's colored in green because that's the color of money."
Like, no, bitch.
It's like, no, motherfucker. Obvious. She's even wearing purple and white as her trunks. She is She-Hulk. Yeah. What was up with Tony Schiavone constantly getting Taz and Excalibur mixed up?
I think he was drunk.
He might have been. He's definitely growing a Tony Schiavone mullet. So, all right, next up. Unless you want to talk more about it.
No.
Okay.
So many matches on here. I just want to be done. Wardlow and FTR, Jay Lethal, and the Motor Shitty Machine Guns.
Motor Shitty Machine Guns. How is it that Chris Sabin looks like he's the only guy in that ring that didn't age? I don't know. You talk about that match.
I think it was a good match. I mean, he hit him with the sympathy, which you knew was going to happen. I think I was more excited about the end of the match than what happened after the match than the actual match. So the match was good.
Well, let's go ahead and explain what happened then, because Sanjay Dutt comes down wearing a T-shirt that says "Fight like an 8-year-old brat." Now, is it because Dax's daughter actually had like cancer or something?
No. So she when she was 5, I think she had a hole in her heart.
Oh, okay.
And so that she worked and she worked and she worked and she went to the doctor like 3 years later when she was 8. And that was like, yeah, the hole was pretty much closed up because she did what she was supposed to do. And so he was like, and then Dax had done a promo a few months back saying, when they were defending their tag titles, I'm gonna fight like an 8-year-old girl, meaning he's gonna
fight like his daughter.
Yeah. So that's where Sanjay got the T-shirt, "Fight like an 8-year-old brat."
Well, and of course she came out wearing the "Fight like an 8-year-old girl" shirt. Yeah. And then at the end of the match, she came down and just like I said she was going to.
Yeah.
She's gonna get her just desserts against Sanjay Dutt, and she did.
But that's not all.
Go ahead.
My old catchphrase. I don't think I've been able to say this catchphrase. It's been over a year. Where the fuck did Joe come from?
He came out the tunnel, man. It's not like he came out of nowhere.
Dude, but you hadn't seen him in months. And then now he's back. So they jumped at Motor City Machine Guns, jumped FTR and Wardlow. They got the better of him, and Samoa Joe came out and helped him clear the ring.
Yeah, isn't it funny that they lose the match, then get the better of them?
Yeah, I think that's I think that's where the two to take things at the daughter and
oh yeah, of course, and of course Samoa Joe.
And I'm reading this. It said lethal spit, which reminded me, what was all everybody spitting on each other all night?
All night long, man. It was spitting in the faces. Now Damian Priest did it to Edge on Saturday, but then after that, it was like
every match seemed like on Sunday.
Every match at AEW seemed to have someone spitting on someone else. Almost like Harry Styles spitting on Chris Pine at the awards.
Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, which I knew was going to happen. Hobbs drugged that ass.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say about that. I mean, it wasn't really a match. It was Hobbs hit him with that damn spine buster, about split his ass in half and pinned him.
Well, I mean, that's reselling the injury of years ago where Ricky Starks, they said, had like a fractured neck or whatever.
Swerve in Our Glory against the Acclaim. Now, so many things here happened in this match. I think it started out with the rap on the way down. No, I don't want to scissor you. On the way down.
Scissor me, Daddy.
No. Where he came down rapping, and he said, keep leaning like Lizzo. And he's talking about his size. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, he just that part. I mean, all his raps, dude.
So what you think of the match?
The match was good.
It was. Good.
The match was real good. I was surprised that they were able to hang. I like the sell that
the leg injury
that Bowens.
Yep.
The whole match, he sold it, and there was a couple of near falls. You thought they were actually going to win.
By the end of the match, they were more over than Swerve in Our Glory.
And you could tell in Keith Lee, they were doing Swerve and Keith were starting to do heel tactics. They were looking a little more heelish.
Well, and they kept having miscues.
Yes. At the end where Keith says, "No, you've been picking your face. I'm not touching you."
It was his hand.
No. He's been Keith scissored Daddy ass. Stop. Scissored Daddy ass, and then Swerve looked kind of pissed off about it.
Well, what about the chants going on? So the Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve in Our, and then all of a sudden it became a scissor me Daddy ass, scissor me.
That was funny. Swerve in Our Glory. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Tony Storm. Now, I think I'd gone out to order food, so I missed some of this, and you were like, so you saw more of it than I did.
I think I went out and ordered food, then I came in, and then you ordered food.
Yeah.
So we both missed half of this match.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Jamie Hayter win.
I kind of thought the Britt Baker was going to win.
They really did push it like Britt was going to be the winner of the match, and it was nice to see her not be the winner.
And then they turned on each other, kind of.
Yeah, I really wanted to see and they did kind of turn on each other because Jamie Hayter had the 1-2 and Britt Baker pulled the referee out, and at that moment, that was what kind of started and they never really got on the same page after that. But they also never really had to talk to each other after that because they kept eating knees. Like everybody was eating knees. I knew Sheeta wasn't going to win that match because Sheeta's not over. I don't care what anybody tries to prove one way or another. Jason could be in our audience right now telling us how over she is. And it's like, yeah, it's not Stardom, Jason. And it's not Sumi Sakai.
Asuka's grandma.
Asuka's grandma.
With the orthopedic
With her
sketchers.
orthopedic sketchers. Oh, man. You kill me with that one. Every time. Every time. So all right. So, but then the match ends with Tony Storm actually taking the interim title. And you know what I don't like about it is they don't go, and new when it's the interim title. They're like, and interim.
Yeah. But
it's not new, even though anyone that would have won that would have been the new interim champion.
Yeah, true. Jungle Boy. Christian Cage.
Well, hold on. That was not what this match was. This match was Luke Perry's wife versus Christian Cage.
Oh, she slapped the taste out of Christian children's mouth.
That's what I was going to say, actually. Yeah, out of Christian children's mouth.
She slapped the shit out of him.
So she slapped the taste out of Luchasaurus's mouth, is what you're saying.
She slapped the. Oh God.
Yeah, the whole Fugazi.
Damn.
Yeah, she slapped him. She slapped him good, and then Jungle Boy comes out, and Jungle Boy makes it look like Luchasaurus is going to follow him out.
He came out the other tunnel.
And he came out the other tunnel, and Tino's like, he came out the other tunnel. He came out the other tunnel.
I was like, why did he come out the other tunnel? Then we found out why. Shit, he took him off the damn stage. He chokeslammed him off the stage.
What? No. So he chokeslammed him onto the metal grate, which was the same level as the stage.
Yeah.
But when he picked him up and started walking him down the ring, the commentators were like, holy shit! Do you see his back? He looked like he had the grill marks from Burger King on him, man. Like
he slammed him hard.
He busted him up good. God. Then he put him in the ring, and then he got
the Unpredator.
Yeah, and then Christian hit the kill switch.
No. He choked him on the stage, then he took him down and he power bound him through a table. And then he put him.
Yeah, because remember I said, how come there's always a water bottle that goes flying off the table? that water bottle flew further than Jungle Boy did, actually. So, and then the kill switch for the win. So we were sitting there going, there's still like 6 matches left on this card. They better start squashing some people.
And then that one.
And then they squashed.
This was a notable moment's observation. Luchasaurus pulled off the elusive triple turn during this storyline. That's not easy.
The elusive triple turn.
Because it was face and he went heel.
Is Big Show under that mask?
Probably. Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho.
Lionheart, Chris Jericho. So, Jericho. Don't give the man his flowers.
Okay.
So, first of all, the fact that when Chris Jericho came out of the tunnel and you heard and you're like, oh, it's gonna be Judas, and then no, they shut it off and they play White Zombie on the way down. And I'm like, damn, they actually brought back his old White Zombie music.
I was like, no.
And nothing is more heel than not letting the crowd sing your entrance music. So perfect, right? Bryan Danielson came out and
I'm like, who's this guy with no shirt? What the fuck?
yeah. Who's this bird chest?
Who's bird chest?
Who's this bird chest motherfucker coming out
like,
here and singing like a girl?
Yeah, I was singing like a girl. I said, 'cause I thought it was a chick that sang that song. And then they're like, and this is such and such that sang Bryan Danielson's theme.
Oh, we didn't talk about Hook's match.
Oh, that was good.
Where Bray Wyatt came down and helped him win the
Bray Wyatt. Motherfucking Bam Bam's godson.
Bam Bam's godfather.
Because I told you, I'm like, and I made a comment. He had a tattoo in the back of his head. I told Rob, I said, I don't think I'd ever fight anybody with a tattoo in the head because that's just pain. That pain don't mean shit to him. You get a tattoo in your head.
So Danielson versus Jericho. Aubrey Edwards as the referee. Called that. She referees all Jericho's matches, by the way. That's why I knew that was happening. Back and forth. Jericho's in the best shape he's been in since he was Lionheart Chris Jericho. Could have went either way.
Yeah.
But Jericho ends up getting the win through dastardly tactics.
Dastardly deeds.
The Jericho Appreciation Society comes down to the ring. They all are celebrating except for Daniel Garcia. Jericho goes backstage. Daniel Garcia is being interviewed. Jericho sits there and says,
"Where were you?
Where were you?" He says, I told you didn't need to win with dastardly tactics, and you decided to do that anyway, so that's why I didn't come down. And Jericho says, "Hey, that's fine. You're a man. You can do that. This week, you got Wheeler Yuta in a Ring of Honor pure match.
And we're not coming down for you.
And we're not coming down to help you." And he's like, but Chris, this is my biggest match ever. And I need you in my corner. And he's like, well, that's great that you need me, but I'm not going to be there. So
it didn't move Jericho.
Yeah. And I think it's going to lead to Garcia being invited into the Blackpool Combat Club. Don't know if he'll accept, but I think it's going to lead to an invitation.
Darby, Sting, and Miro against the House of Black. What I want to say mostly about this is Miro did not want to tag out. He go over there looking like, fuck you, I got this.
Yep, he pretty much did.
And he fought the match pretty much his whole himself until Darby tagged himself in. And he's getting, I think my favorite thing, he was getting his ass beat, and Miro's at the top of shit. Are you glad you tagged me in, Darby? Are you glad you tagged me, Darby?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that was priceless.
And then we get a lack of missed moment between Sting and Malachi Black.
We didn't even see it even in the replay.
Even in the replay, it just looked like Sting spit in his face.
We're like, even more spitting. Like, oh no, I think that was. And it was funny because like you couldn't even prove it because Sting had the white mask and already through a whole match, his mouth was already black. So you can't even say you spit the mist. His mouth's been black the whole match.
Yeah, it's true. I was gonna try to say something about that, but no, you're right. I
mean, look at the picture. Look at his mouth. The way his face is painted.
Yeah, it's true. Terrence says hi from Ruckus.
What's up?
What's up, T?
All right, we made it. We made it.
No, there had to be like 2 more matches.
No, that's it.
There was like 17 matches.
There was 13. We've been through them all.
13 fucking matches.
Yep, this is number 13 right here.
All right. John Moxley, World Heavyweight Champion, versus the guy he beat in 3 minutes and 1 second, which made a TikTok. A whole TikTok. CM Punk, who sounded drunk after the match.
Probably.
Well, he's straight edge, but
probably concussed.
Go ahead, talk about the match.
This match is what the first match should have been. It lasted longer.
Yeah, it was a 25-minute match with a 60-minute time limit.
Moxley, it was pretty much all Mox for a while, and then CM Punk finally.
Well, it was all CM Punk at the beginning.
Yeah,
because he hit the GTS like right in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then he kept trying to go for the leg. He kept trying to go for the leg and the ankle. He did manage to counter a GTS and hit the Death Rider, which I'm like, wow, that DDT that he does. I wasn't excited for this match because I knew what the outcome was going to be.
Interestingly enough, obviously CM Punk comes out and he gets the hometown, crowd sitting there like really banging out for him. But then Moxley gets announced and walking through the crowd and everything, and everybody's fully behind him too.
But he's still flipping them off.
Well, he had to because he didn't want them cheering him. He wanted to be the heel during the match because he knew that the bigger ovation that CM Punk gets, the better the match is going to be. And as soon as the match started, they were firmly behind CM Punk. They weren't behind Moxley, and every time Moxley would punch him, you'd hear boo, and then you hear yay, and then boo and yay, and boo and yay. It was a solid match. It was fine. I wasn't excited. You and I obviously have had multiple conversations about not being excited about a rematch when you got squashed in the first one. And the promo that he gave last week didn't sell me on the match anymore because it just sounded like him going, I really don't deserve this, but hell, Chicago, we're gonna do it. Okay, who the fuck's Ace Steel and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Well, we found out who Ace Steel is after the match.
We'll get into that too. Well, let's get after the match.
Yeah. Go ahead.
After the match,
I know it gave you a hard on, so just go ahead.
Because I know. After the match, they show the dude. I'm trying to pull up the Monday Night results as I'm saying this. After the match, they got the man backstage in the mask. No, first they cut that promo that CM Punk did back in the day.
Well, they cut to something else even before that. They cut to a voicemail message.
Oh yeah,
of Tony Khan basically
sounded like that was after they did all that before he came out.
No, it was the first thing. Like they cut the lights, then they did the Tony Khan thing, then they did the CM Punk like the devil is due shit, or the best thing the devil ever did was make you believe that he didn't exist. Then all of a sudden they showed the guy in the white devil mask takes the mask off. But
no, he put the scarf on first and he walked out.
He took the mask off, then put the scarf on.
Not before he.
He didn't turn around, but he took the mask off. But anyway, the whole first part of it was Tony Khan sitting there saying, "I'm tired of you not being here, and I'm willing to make this final offer to you." It basically made him sound like a bitch.
Yeah.
Like a little crybaby of get your ass to work. I'm gonna pay you $dollars. And and I won't extend your contract so you can come out here and like whatever, okay? Then obviously it's MJF, and MJF comes out, and he's also just flipping off the crowd.
Well, because they were cheering him, he's trying to, because they were having to see him. Like when he took that mask off and he put that scarf on.
Man, what is with your fucking phone always being so goddamn bright?
It's not bright.
It is bright.
Anyway, fucking finish your sentence.
They should have allowed him to turn babyface because after the night ended, someone else turned total heel.
Yeah, I didn't hear. Yeah, you could talk about that.
All right, so
I've heard about it. I don't know exactly what happened.
So all right, so they decided to do something that like the WWE did a press conference.
Apparently, theirs was 6 hours long though. The AEW one.
Yeah, because they let everybody talk. But it's weird because they talked in like opposite order. So it was like they started with the champion and then they worked all the way down to like because it was in the first match of the night or whatever. So he got to talk last. So 6 hours later, the next day he's sitting there and talking or whatever. No, I'm kidding. But so CM Punk's sitting next to Tony Khan. And CM Punk's eating like ho-hos and all this other like junk food shit and drinking like ginger ales and stuff. And he's talking about how I don't know, I didn't hear the beginning of whether or not he got asked a question about it or not, but he seemed to just go off on Colt Cabana. And he's like, we haven't been friends in 8 years. I don't know why you motherfuckers keep talking about him. Like, I did not get him fired. I don't know why anybody else would think I got him fired. Tony Khan sitting right next to me. He can tell you that I didn't get him fired. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you people. I don't know why you would continue to bring it up. I'm sitting here. I just had a hell of a match. I'm the AEW World Champion, and yet you're fucking with me. And if it wasn't you, I'm sorry, but the rest of you can go fuck right off. And then he sits there and he talks about the EVPs of the company running their mouth backstage. And then he says, and some no talent hack like Hangman fucking Page sitting there going into business for himself. And he starts going off on all of it, and Tony Khan's just like looking like Danhausen, like hands like this, and just damn. And then so he ends his conversation. Like I said, he even used a line where he said something like, "Okay, remember a year ago when he showed up and he said there's a hell of a lot of young talent in the back, and I want to wrestle every single one of them." Mm-hmm. And you know, like if we'd had a locker room like that 10 years ago, I probably would have never left, and blah blah blah. Well, all of a sudden he gets asked a question. He's like, "I'm fucking old. I'm wrestling children." And like, so it's like the exact opposite of what he said exactly a year ago. Okay. Like,
what the fuck is wrong with him? Okay.
I think he's bipolar. So then he goes backstage, and apparently
he needs to take some of his wife's pills.
That's not funny. That's not funny. But he goes backstage, and then
you tell all kinds of.
Yeah, but that's really not funny. Like that's mental health, man. Come on.
Okay.
We rarely talk. I don't make fun of mental health issues.
Finish your story.
Am I wrong?
No, finish your story.
So,
it's 10 o'clock.
I know. Which means we still haven't gone 2 hours, and yet this is a long ass night. So, at 15 fucking hours of wrestling, we're gonna sit here and talk for a while. So he goes backstage and apparently gets to his locker room, and then the Young Bucks
were they waiting for him?
And Kenny show up at his locker room and are saying stuff like, "What the fuck was that all about?" And so then this was called the scrum, but the scrum actually happened backstage because apparently CM Punk threw a punch, hit one of the Jacksons in the eye and gave him a black eye. Ace Steel threw a chair at the other one. Threw a fucking chair.
Then he bite somebody.
And then he bit Kenny Omega and ripped his hair out.
How the fuck you bite people?
You would have thought if anybody was going to bite people, it'd be Larry, the dog. You know, it'd be Larry the dog. But no, apparently it's Ace Steel sitting there going, "Fuck it." The picture I posted on Facebook for the Facebook group. I'm gonna pull it up. But yeah, so they're all sitting there like apparently having this big brawl backstage. Jericho goes out for his interview. So Jericho's sitting there, and Jericho's only there for a couple minutes. And when he gets done doing the interview portion, he basically looks at Tony Khan, who gives him a hug, and he goes, "Some shit's going down backstage." Literally says, "Some shit's going down backstage." Yeah. He goes, "Some shit's going down backstage." And after he says that, like, Tony's like, "Oh, okay." Someone asked Tony Khan, they asked him like what he thought about the WWE doing tampering with the contracts with AEW, and he's like I'm gonna stop that fucking shit right now, and like just funny stuff, man. But okay, man,
they said too something like they're worried because they don't want CM Punk to leave, and they're like they need to do something because they can't touch Punk because he's a champion, he's Teflon. They said, and then they were like, well, maybe we'll do something to Ace, and like, well, if they do something to Ace Steel, it's gonna piss Punk off because he figures Ace was defending them, and he said if they fire Ace, he's gonna quit. So either way,
still looking for the picture, but I don't see it. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Well, it was like a Dark Side of the Ring thing where it was like where it showed the two Young Bucks and it says and that's when all of a sudden, like before we knew it, like a chair got thrown and knocked Matt out, and Kenny was being eaten by Ace Steel.
Wow.
It's just funny shit, dude. It's so funny. But yeah. Here's the edge. Why, Dom? Because you want to step up. All right, here it is. So we march over to his locker room, and all of a sudden I eat a right hand, and a chair goes flying. Nick's on the floor, and Ace is eating Kenny. There's so many posts on the Facebook page now, man. It's hilarious. Damn, Mike Tyson was backstage is what Michael Turner just said. So yeah, so a bunch of crazy shit happened. But you know, we might as well go ahead and talk about this little guy right here.
Yeah, that's.
So I don't even remember how it started. Oh, it started with the 4-way tag team match, didn't it?
It started with women's. Yeah, the 4-way tag. You're right.
Yeah, the 4-way tag team match, which you know I made fun of earlier because I said when Braun Strowman showed up at Worlds Collide, but Braun Strowman interrupted the tag team 4-way #1 contenders match and destroyed everybody.
He fucked everybody. Yeah.
Now think about this. He fucked up Kofi Kingston. He fucked up Xavier Woods. He fucked up both the Los Lotharios. He fucked up the Street Profits.
No, he only got one of them. He only got D'Angelo. I don't think he got his hands on Montez.
But the Montez was already out.
Yeah.
But, you know, okay, so I want to start with this. The match starts and Gable tags, or Los Lotharios tag in both members of the New Day, right? So what happens? They do the old DX try for the win, and Xavier ends up dropping to the mat, and Kofi tries to pin him 1-2, and all 3 other tag teams like attack him, right? Well, then, without anybody tagging out, everybody ends up outside the ring, and the New Day go and suicide dive over the top rope through everybody, and then they just hop up on the railings, and they're like, ha! They were still the legal men. They could have went in the ring and just finished the match.
Yeah, man.
Like, how did they not remember that?
I'm thinking though,
they just tried it a minute ago.
Braun knocked out all those tag teams.
Yep.
He's on his way to SmackDown.
Yep.
I'm wondering if
Nicholas is coming back.
No. The Fiend or a Bray Wyatt.
I mean, what, and become a tag team?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a really big way to reintroduce Braun Strowman. However,
he's smaller.
He is smaller. He's like 350 pounds now.
Yeah.
I mean, he has abs.
Yeah.
He didn't have abs when he got to the WWE.
He came back Big Show.
He's on the same diet, I'm sure. But anyway, I have a problem with this because he took out 8 top stars, including Otis.
Yeah.
He basically buried the entire tag team division in one night.
But I don't think it hurt them. You know what I'm saying? I think they just, like you said, that's a way to.
Kofi Kingston's a former world champion.
Mm-hmm. But you know, they ain't putting it back on him.
Not anytime soon. I mean, they're not putting it on anybody anytime soon.
Yeah, so,
but nice to see the Monster Onks men show up, and then of course say that he's going to be on SmackDown on Friday, probably to root on Raquel Rodriguez.
No, she came out next. Her and Aaliyah against Nikki and Doudrop, man.
Yeah, Nikki and Doudrop are all over the place right now.
Then we got the Rey Mysterio's interview backstage, and then they also had Austin Theory's in the ring. He kept
botching his lines,
and then anybody was like, "Oh, you're making my jaw hurt." Stop yelling.
Now,
he kept blaming it on his jaw.
Now, do you think that he was botching his lines because they gave him an open mic and he could try to do it himself? Or do you think it was to sell that he's like concussed after the punch?
I think he was fucking up the lines. I think he was fucking up. They tried to give him a line and say, "Let's see what he's got."
And I still think it worked though. Like as bad as it sounded,
he played it off. I think he saved it.
Well, and then who comes down?
KO, which he came up. Oh, I can call you Austin now. Hi, Austin.
I like that. And you know that wasn't scripted.
No. So they had an impromptu match. Owen beat him. It's really, like I said, the Miz was backstage.
He hit the pop-up powerbomb and the stunner.
Yeah.
To win this match.
Miz is backstage, and apparently Apparently, Dexter Loomis is now the Harry Potter villain because he who should not be named.
Yeah, and Corey Graves even said, and I don't mean Voldemort. Byron, but if you notice, before like the first backstage segment with The Miz
the car was tipped over.
Tommaso Ciampa, the car was tipped
That's
over.
Braun.
And that was supposed to be like the, hey, here's a surprise, Braun's here, you know,
Yeah.
like, or it was somehow Dexter Loomis flipped over the Miz's car. Although it didn't look like the minivan from the week before.
Damage control.
Uh-huh.
Is that what we're calling ourselves now?
That is what they're called. Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Made their way out. Bailey gloats. Bianca comes out and challenges Bailey to a match.
Yeah, because Bailey actually said that she's the first person to pin her since November of 2021.
Little Bailey says it's Labor Day, so I'm not working.
She did. She did. It was a good line. It was a good line.
But Bailey calls them off because they were going to jump her, blah, 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 blah. Gargano's going to be fighting in action next week. Rey Mysterio and Damian Priest, because apparently Rey was mad. And he said something that harkened back to an old Undertaker promo. Remember when Undertaker said he will not fight Kane? Rey said, I will not lay hands on my son, but I will fight anyone in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, but remember that, so we didn't even talk about like the actual segment where Edge came down and started saying, Dominic Mysterio, get your ass down here.
I think that was first, yeah.
I think that was the first thing. And then Rey came out and he's like, I'm going to ask for an apology. And I was like, Rey, are you asking Edge to apologize?
You're supposed to be offering an apology.
Yeah, you're supposed to be offering the apology. Yeah. And you know, I wasn't sure how many people actually caught on to that. Because it even looked like Edge was like, what do you mean you're asking for an apology?
He was like, what the fuck?
He's like,
what'd you say, Oscar?
You're about to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, fine. Then I just won't get involved with it. And it's like, yeah, nobody wants you involved with it. like get out. I'll beat the shit out of your kid myself. You know, but I've known you since you were 5 years old, Dom. I've known you forever.
And now I'm not looking at you as a kid. I'm looking at you as a superstar. Like, oh shit.
Like WWE superstar. Yeah. And then of course Rhea comes out and she goes, I made a man out of him. And she's like,
I'm like, what y'all backstage doing?
You know what it means. You know what it means. But yeah, so
the emo look.
So then Rey versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest pretty much kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, we know what's happening.
And then of course like Rhea comes out and says that Dom has a match against someone who he gets to retire again. Talking about Edge. So that
Poppy wants, Poppy gets.
What Poppy wants, Poppy gets. So Rhea is going all in on this Poppy gimmick. So yeah.
And then the main event.
Wow, we're already through the entire show.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we talked about everything.
Holy shit. That was a really quick episode of Raw.
Yeah. Because it was so damn good.
Yeah, it really was a good episode of Raw.
I said that last night because I watched it. I was like, the
fuck? And the main event was the U.S. title match inside the steel cage. He who should not be named is nowhere to be seen. But Tommaso Ciampa comes down with The Miz, Bobby Lashley inside the steel cage. Before the match starts, they jump him and they beat the shit out of Bobby. Bobby ends up getting everybody into the ring, and just as you think The Miz is going to climb out, there is this really odd visual of Dexter Loomis just... He is the most memeable character in the WWE, except maybe Dominic right now.
And so, so Miz gets scared, gets back in and gets speared. Lashley pins him. He leaves the ring.
Loomis climbs in.
And then Miz like, nope, I'm out of here. And Bobby said, not so fast, sir. He closed the door. And so he gets choked out. And then he's just sitting there, just stroking his hair.
Yeah, what I found funny about the whole Dexter Loomis thing, and I'm telling you, like, it can only go so far. You know, at some point, he's either going to have to talk, he's going to have to develop more of a character, because, yeah, the super creepy stalker guy is great up to a point, but you can only take it so far before people start going, okay, he's very one-dimensional. And he's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong. But he literally is a stalker who used to be like in TNA. Wasn't he a sexual predator?
I think it's the same. It was the same gimmick.
Well, it was the same gimmick, except it was going after Christy Hemme instead of going after a man.
Yeah.
And I think that his biggest set of matches was against Ken Anderson or something.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So
All right, we did it. How long's the show been?
it's only been 2 hours. Made it through the whole thing in 2 hours, man. All right, go ahead.
You can catch this fool on the Twitter machines at PotCheck. I'm HootieFan91. You can check him on the Insta. All his damn, you know him.
Rob Potsy Potsy, Junior High Horrors, Immortal the Comic. There you go.
And say I'm just SE Tino. You can find this show on TikTok. No, excuse me. Your show's on TikTok. You can find this also on Twitter, Potsy and Tino, Facebook, or Potsy and Tino Show. We are right here each and every Tuesday. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. Buy our shit. You can also check out our theme song, Adam's House Cats. It's called The Wrestling Song. It's on iTunes for 99 cents, 99. And as always, what are we going to end with? We're going to Macho Man thinking. Ooh, yeah. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Coach Personal. I'm going to go use the bathroom again.